you could perceive reality as it really is out there, you wouldn't recognize it at all.
Well, you see a dead body and you wonder, why is it dead? Technically, the person is right in front of you.
I very strongly believe that this is a question for neuroscience.
So what exactly are you missing? Why is it dead? But something you can't see is gone.
The world around us, this richly textured world, we're all just an illusion constructed in your head.
You probably never found a clear answer until maybe you came across this video.
The real world has no smell or taste. No sound. There's no color.
And here you might start to understand not just what death is, but what life actually means.
We all have this internally generated reality. Incredible as it may sound, this world lives inside your brain.
Quick heads up before you go further. Science doesn't have any clear answers of everything we are about to talk about. Not yet anyways. But that doesn't mean that it's not worth asking. And maybe, just maybe, the question matters more than the answer. Still, people who spend their lives studying the brain, like Michael Egner, an American neurosurgeon, after decades in neurosurgery, seeing the living brain with his own eyes, he claims,
We are naturally immortal. It's in our nature that our spirit cannot disintegrate and cannot die. Your spiritual soul has no off switch. Your body has an off switch, but not your soul.
if someone pops up in your head while you watch this video, send it their way. You never know whose life it might quietly flip.
When people have near-death experiences, they report beautiful scenes. They say the colors are just breathtaking, and their vision is like nothing they've ever experienced on Earth.
See, you don't have to believe it, but you can't unhear it. And maybe, just maybe, this is the only clue you will ever get if you dare to look past what's logical and practical. Because what if these questions are the only thing you need to crack open what's hidden inside you? Time. That one thing is taking away from all of us. And what a waste to spend our lives never recognizing who we are and what we're truly capable of. Maybe if you did, you would unlock more than what you can imagine. For the doubters, people like me and people like you, I have laid out some simple questions. Can science really answer this? And why it can? If not science, then what? Or who? What exactly should we trust? The answer is almost stupidly simple. You can trust whatever you decide to trust. Because, as neuroscientist David Eagleman points out,
look at this hollow mask of Einstein's face. Your brain tells you it's coming out at you. And even when you know it's an illusion, you can't help but fall for it. What you're seeing is the internal model, not the raw information that's coming in from your eyes. Your internal model is built on a lifetime of experience with faces that stick out. When you're confronted with one that's hollow, your model simply sees what it expects to see.
what you think is reality is actually a careful reconstruction inside your head. Here's how it works. Your eyes catch tiny bits of light and movement. Your ear picks up sound, little waves of air hitting you. Then your brain collects all this data. It puts the pieces together like a puzzle. It adds color, shape, and meaning. Finally, it hands you a finished picture and says, here, this is your world. But here's a crazy part. This process takes time, and scientists have measured you're always 80 to 150 milliseconds behind the real moment. So by the time you see and feel anything in the present moment, it's already passed. Not just a blink, but the whole pieces of time that pass before you can ever notice them.
We set up a test to show you. In the top screen, we're triggered by a light. In the bottom screen, we're triggered by the gun. You can see that when our start is triggered by a flash of light, we respond more slowly. It takes 40 milliseconds longer to process. Why? Because the visual system is more complex.
But we'll come back to that later. For now, let's dive deeper into what we call life, or more specifically, what appears to be you. The awareness behind the thoughts, the presence behind the body. Some call it consciousness, others call it spirit, you might call it space, or even what ancient tradition called the fifth element. So listen to this part carefully.
What is exactly death? Have you ever died? Did you die and come back? No. In your experience, no, isn't it? Did you ever see somebody who died and came back?
I read about it.
No, did you see?
I haven't seen any.
Have you ever seen a dead man?
Yeah.
You seen a dead man?
I've seen dead body.
Dead body you have seen. Have you seen a dead man?
I don't know how you distinguish.
Dead body is a dead body. Have you seen a dead man? Or a dead woman?
Metaphorically, yes.
Don't go away. I'm asking about reality. I'm not asking poetry.
Reality, I don't think so.
You have not. So you have not seen one. You have not met one. Nor have you experienced. So where the hell did you get this idea that you will die?
It is learnt God.
That's what. It is a fiction of the ignorant, created by the ignorant. There is no such thing as death. There's just life, life and life, moving from one dimension to another. So only when people are ignorant and their vision of life and their perception of life is very limited to physical nature of the existence, then they will think of life and death. Otherwise, there's just life and life.
Wonderful.
You hear this, and maybe you start to wonder, maybe he's not entirely wrong after all. You don't have much to counter what he's saying, and the science you worship doesn't offer much clear evidence either. Or maybe you doubt every single word because you have never met someone who has moved from different dimensions of life. How do we even know that it's even a real thing? And that's exactly the point of this video. As American neurosurgeon Michael Egner says, we are not the physical bodies. He calls us immortal beings. And if we weren't just the flesh and bones, then who are we exactly? To even begin answering this question, you have to ask the same old question monks have been asking for thousands of years. Who am I? If you want a practical way to look at it, ask yourself this. What's the one thing missing between the living body and the dead ones? Think about it. Can you guess? Well, it's your body's ability to breathe. Look at this simple idea. If I were to draw a connection between life and death, it would look something like this. Something invisible, which we call air, coming from outside and entering every time you inhale. Crazy, isn't it? Maybe that's why monks teach you to focus on your breath while asking this question, who am I? The first time I tried it, really tried, it felt like I was on some sort of chemical substance, intoxicated, but without the harm. And it only lasted as long as I stayed aware. And that's why this idea struck to me. All the complex things you call life depends on something as simple as air or a simple breath. And you know how I know this? Try holding your breath. You will understand that fast too. Your body is the most advanced and complex machine you will ever own. Maybe somewhere between this physical shell and your breathing is the bridge that keeps your soul connected to your body. It's strange, isn't it? How a simple, invisible action keeps you alive. How everything else happens on its own. Like your heartbeat, like the blood flow through your body, neurons firing in your brain, your food digestion. None of it requires any effort from you. So what exactly is this invisible space we live in? Are these the different dimensions that Guru had been mentioning earlier in this video? Is that why we haven't found life on another planet? NASA launched the James Webb Telescope, a $10 billion observatory. It's currently orbiting the Sun at the Earth L2 Lagrange point, about 1.5 million kilometers away from Earth, on a halo path that keeps it roughly that distance as both orbit the Sun. It's the most powerful telescope humanity has ever built. Its mission? To search the earliest galaxy and maybe even signs of life beyond this planet. And yet, so far, it hasn't found anything else out there walking around like we do on Earth. Or maybe we're just not equipped to recognize life when we see one. You can't see your own soul or the energy that keeps you alive, but it's there. Now look at the night sky, billions of stars, billions of galaxies, and yet we think we're alone? Maybe we're not. Maybe we just weren't built to see it. Just because you can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Well, close your eyes. Did the world vanish? We are naturally immortal. Or more precisely, the part of us that isn't physical, the soul, is. Now hear this, because it gets even more crazier. Based on all the research I've found, if I had to sum it up, we humans live in the past. Your eyes are built to see only what helps us survive, not the full picture. This doesn't mean what you see isn't real. It just means your vision is limited to a fraction of what's truly there, about 1/10 billionth of it. From a practical standpoint, forget science and religion for a second. We can still experience things we can't fully see. You can feel the water when it moves. You can hear it splash. You can even taste it, even though it's clear. Air is even more mysterious. You can only feel it when it moves, and you can hear it when it rushes past you. But you can't really see it. And the soul? You can't see it at all, can't touch it, but somehow you know it's there You don't need anyone to confirm that for you. Do you believe, even a little, that we can't see our own soul, even though it exists? There could be so many things, just like our soul, that are invisible to us. For example, here are some facts straight from the science. Bees, they can see ultraviolet light. Mantis shrimp have 16 types of photoreceptors in their eyes. What do they see that we don't and we will never? Think about this. According to the neuroscience, your eyes have only 3 receptors. Dogs have 2, but bees, they can see ultraviolet patterns you will never be able to witness. So what does the same world look like to them? Listen, the truth is, we are not just a human being trapped in skin and bone. We are in a reality celestial being, far beyond what our physical eyes can see. And reality itself becomes whatever we dare to believe in. That's why phrases like, you can do anything you set your mind to, exist. Have you ever noticed that things that you obsess over eventually start to show up in your life? These days, people sell expensive courses promising you to help you unlock your full potential. But the truth is, this entire concept rests on a core idea, your awareness, both scientific and spiritual, is already enough. It's enough to move you towards any goal that you dream of. But here's a twist. Even if you achieve those desires, they won't necessarily bring you peace or happiness. You have heard this before. Money can't buy happiness, and it's true. And you will understand once you have enough of it. Or maybe you already know because you've been there. This world is only getting louder. With the internet constant notification and information overload, we are drowning in noise. We are exposed to more stimulation than any human mind was ever built to handle. The real drama? It only exists inside our physical brain. None of this is real. Remember, the vacation that you once took, the perfect destination, the sunshine, the photos, the food, and yet something felt off. Even while you were smiling outside, inside you weren't fully happy. And the thought of going back to your regular life made it even worse. Instead of healing, the trip left you more confused, maybe even emptier. Why? Because the fulfillment was never in the destination. Life has become more complicated than ever. We wake up already overwhelmed, scrolling, comparing, performing. Our minds are constantly trapped in this invisible loop of thoughts, fears, and desires. And here's what I know. You have only one brain, one physical body, and one lifetime, and one rare chance to remember who you really are. No scientist, no philosopher, no guru can give you a formula for the soul. There's no chart, no equation, but deep down, you already know. This is something we all can feel, even when we pretend not to. There's something more, something bigger than all of this. The meaning doesn't look the same for everyone, but in the end, every single one of us deserves to feel that connection to the cosmic force inside us and to this body that lets us create magic we call life in this dimension. I'll be honest with you, you're not supposed to get it all in one go. This is not just a video, it's a mirror. Some reflections take time. So when life gets noisy, when the world feels too heavy or too fast, come back. Come back to this space. Not for me, but for you. I did not make this to impress anyone. I made it for people like us, the wanderers, the seekers, the ones who drift too far before realizing that we're forgetting something, ourselves. This is a reset for those moments when you're winning, but you still feel lost. And when the smile fades after the applause, for when no one else can see you drowning beneath your perfect life. Because let's be honest, we don't just lose ourselves in pain, we lose ourselves in pleasures too, in success, in chasing more, in scrolling through what everyone else says matters. But deep down we know there's something more real than any of this. And you have felt it in stillness, in breath, in those rare seconds when time disappears and the world becomes quieter. That is you, not the name, not the title, not the job or the face or the number on your bank account. You're not here to be somebody. You are here to remember something. So take this message like a note you wrote to yourself. For the time when you were still clear, still connected, still infinite. And if it resonated even just a little, then maybe send it to someone who needs to hear it. Not to convince them, just to plant a seed. Because this world needs more remembering, more silence, and more truth. You, my friend, are not small. You're not late. You're not broken. You're here, and you're still breathing. That means you're not late. Not to start over, not to come alive, not to remember. So thank you. Thank you for being here. for feeling this with me, and for remembering what's always been true. I'll be back too, just as someone who forgets sometime and needs to be reminded, just like you, that I am alive, and it's a miracle.